She and I have had 4 briefings, and we have another one tomorrow. We have a history of being able to come to agreement on these matters. The idea of paid sick leave is a good idea, but if Washington, D.C. thinks it's a good idea, Washington, D.C. should pay for it. When I was governor of Tennessee, nothing used to make me more unhappy than some well-meaning individual in the United States Senate or House coming up with a big idea, passing it, taking credit for it, and sending me the bill. And so employees are struggling, so are employers struggling.
At this point, Republicans aren't even trying to hide the fact that they don't serve you, they serve corporations. That's it. If you happen to benefit as a result of some policy meant to help corporations, great. They're happy to take credit for that. But rest assured, nothing they do is expressly to help regular people. And this move to veto legislation that would require employers to provide paid sick leave is proof of that. The bill requires employers to give workers 14 days of paid sick leave during public health emergencies. It was introduced by Washington Democrat Patty Murray as she tried to get unanimous consent. Lamar Alexander's veto doesn't mean the bill is dead, but it does mean that it now needs to be brought up for a vote through regular order, which isn't even likely given McConnell's unwillingness to take up any of the hundreds of bills languishing in the Senate. Here's how much Republicans defer to corporations over people. They were just handed a $1.5 trillion tax cut. It was unfunded, it exploded the deficit, it put us in a situation right now where we may be facing a recession and our reserves have run dry, and yet they got it anyway. But God forbid we implement any policy that might cost them $1, even if that policy means their employees get to, survive. Even now, still the White House is only looking out for big business. Trump's economic advisor Larry Kudlow confirmed that the White House is considering intervening to help the airline, travel, and cruise industries. They've even floated a bailout for shale companies, because clearly the fossil fuel industry should be our priority right now. How about a bailout for once for poor people, for the 87 million uninsured or underinsured Americans, for the people who are continually overlooked and written off by this administration? But that's the standard that's been set and entrenched by today's Republican Party in this country. A standard for our workers that is leagues below the rest of the world. And when Democrats try to introduce legislation to change that, Republicans hem and haw about how, sure, employees might have it rough, but corporations have it rough too. And obviously, no one is ever looking out for the lowly corporation, aside, from when we handed them a tax cut so monumental that it exploded our deficit to unprecedented depths. The truth is that while we might be used to our dismal work standards, the international community decidedly is not. The United States has 0 days of mandated sick leave. 0. Only 2 other industrialized countries in the world offer no paid sick leave. And if you get a life-threatening illness like cancer, you can get up to 50 days paid sick leave in certain countries. But the United States of America, the richest country in the world, the shining city on a hill, offers you 0. Of course, there's also the minor issue that forcing the sick to show up for work puts everyone else at risk. Other employees, customers, and so in their desperation to save a few bucks, think about the damage of making an entire staff sick. Think about lifetime revenue lost from a customer who gets sick after eating tainted food in your restaurant, or how many other people will stop eating there once that person posts about it online. And so not only is such a policy inhumane, it's not even economically sound. And look, while this might sound alarmist on its face, this is unquestionably a life or death situation. As it stands, when we're forcing people who may have fallen ill to choose between calling out of a job they can't afford to lose and risk getting fired, or just showing up to work sick, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna go to work. They've got families to feed and mortgages to pay. And so when your servers and cooks and cashiers, the people who prepare your food and mop the floors and stock the shelves and fold the clothes, when they're showing up sick to their jobs that they need, you can thank Republicans like Lamar Alexander for vetoing legislation that might have saved someone's life.